Right, good morning everybody. Welcome to Babergh District Council Licensing Regulatory Committee, the 14th of August 2020. First of all, a bit of sad news. I'd like to give our condolences from this committee to Sue Carpendale, who sadly lost her husband last week. Our thoughts are with her, and look forward to seeing her back on this committee when she feels like coming back. Right, now we've got to do a bit of housekeeping. First of all, welcome to the virtual meeting of the Licensing Regulatory Committee. May I first of all remind you of some of the domestic arrangements. Please ensure that microphones are muted when you are not speaking, that you do not interrupt other speakers. Members are reminded not to use the messaging chat function during the meeting unless it is to report a pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest, or not to notify the chair, or to notify the chair that you wish to make a proposal. That is, if you are attending the meeting to speak and persistently interrupt the meeting, you may be asked to leave. Additionally, you will be invited to speak and ask questions by the chair. Please await your turn. I would like to remind everybody present that this meeting will be broadcasted live to the internet and will be capable of repeat viewing. The whole of the meeting will be recorded except where there are confidential or exempt items. If you make a representation to the meeting, you will be deemed by the council to have consented to being recorded. By entering this meeting as a speaker, you are also consenting to being recorded by the council and to the possibility use of these sound recordings for webcasting and or training purposes. The council, members of the public and the press may record, film or photograph or broadcast this meeting when the public and the press are not lawfully excluded. Right, moving on. Would the officers like to introduce themselves, please? Can you go through? David?
David Price, Licensing Officer.
Catherine?
Catherine Green, Licensing Officer.
Emma?
Emma's not here today, but she's being represented by my colleague Kay. So Kay, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Kay Sanders, Licensing Officer.
Okay, lovely. Nigel?
Yeah, Nigel DeLue, Legal Advisor to the committee.
And obviously Karen?
Karen Sayer, Governance Officer.
Right, I can move to the agenda now, please. First of all, can we do a roll call for attendance, please? Karen?
Thank you, Chair. We have received apologies from Councillor Carpendale and Councillor Fraser. Members, please can you reply with good morning or present when I call out your names. Councillor Suez.
Good morning.
Councillor Peter Beer. Councillor Beer.
I'd muted myself. Yes, good morning, I'm present.
Thank you. Councillor Trevor Creswell. I don't think he's here. Oh. Councillor Sean Dawson? No. Councillor Jane Gould?
Good morning.
Councillor Margaret Maybury?
Good morning.
Councillor Mark Newman?
Yeah.
And Councillor John Nunn. I don't think he's here either.
Okay, thank you very much.
No. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Move to declarations of interest. Can you please raise your hand? Anyone? Right, to confirm the minutes of the meeting of the 12th of June. Are there any points regarding the accuracy of the meeting? Right. Could I have a proposer, please?
I'm so moved.
Yeah, Peter. Seconder? Was that Margaret?
No, I'm trying to query the accuracy, but this my hand is raised now. I'm trying to comment on the accuracy of the minutes.
Okay, well, we'll move back to that then. What is your question, Margaret?
It's not really a question, it's a comment. that I don't believe the minutes reflect the concerns that some members had for the subject that was being discussed at the time, which was the taxi fares.
Yeah. Well, we've gone back and we're looking at that. So what change would you like to the minutes? Have you got one?
Yes, I did write it down somewhere. I would like it expressed that there were concerns from members, including the deputy chairman, that it was a confusing presentation and that we hadn't had a briefing, a concise enough briefing for the subject that we were discussing.
Okay, we have rectified that now, but is everyone happy with that change? Councillor Beer, do you want?
Yeah, well, as I'd proposed it, I'm quite happy to accept that because I do feel that the new members perhaps did need a bit more information. And certainly for us older ones who've been on it and this sort of thing, we also need to be updated. So I do fully support Margaret Maybe's request that should be added in the minutes, and I accept that as part of my proposal. Thank you.
Right. Should I have officers? Should I have a vote on that we're going to add this to the minutes?
We need a seconder.
Yeah, well, is there a seconder to the amendment to the minutes?
Yeah. Me?
Sue?
Yeah.
Sue Ayres. Okay, is that all right with the officers? Can we add that?
Yes,
Karen?
thank you. Yes, Chair.
And you've got all the information you need on this now, have you?
Yep, thank you.
Right, so now we want, Peter's proposed it, so have we got a seconder to the minutes now with the change?
Yes.
Margaret Maybury, seconder. Right, thank you. I think Karen will now do a roll call for the minutes, is that right?
Thank you, Chair. Members, if you can reply with for, against or abstain. Councillor Sue Ayres.
For.
Councillor Peter Beer.
For.
Councillor Jane Gould.
For.
Councillor Margaret Maybury.
For.
And Councillor Mark Newman.
For.
Thank you, Chair. That's carried.
Okay, the minutes of the meeting have been confirmed and will be signed at the next practical opportunity. Right, is there any petitions, Karen?
None received, Chair.
Questions from the public?
None received.
Okay, we now move to paper BLR/19/8 Licensing Act 203 Statement of Licensing Policy Statutory 5-year Review. So can the officer give a report, please?
Thank you, Chair. This report refers to policy setting under the Licensing Act 2003. Since November 2005, local licensing authorities have been responsible for functions under the Licensing Act 2003, including issuing of licenses and authorisations for licensable activities, premises, clubs, events and individuals. Section 5 of the Licensing Act 2003 requires that the licensing authority shall determine and publish a local statement of licensing policy relating to the discharge of its licensing functions under the Act. In 2020, the authority is due to revisit the statement that has been in effect since January 2016, and this report seeks the approval of a first draft revision in order that a statutory consultation period may then commence on its content. This is a statutory function. The licensing team has today undertaken the necessary preparatory work within existing resources and by working together with partner authorities. The resource, coordination of activity and costs associated with the consultation process will be shared between the two districts and wider wherever viable. In general terms, the legislation aims to secure full cost recovery of administering Licensing Act 2003 functions through fees payable for licence applications and ongoing maintenance. The fee banding system and fee levels are currently set by central government via regulation. This will be the 5th edition of the Council's Statement of Licensing Policy under the Licensing Act 2003. The licensing team has the necessary experience, stakeholder contacts and networking in place to ensure that a wide and balanced consultation takes place. The consultation will take place over a minimum period of 4 weeks through various channels and media. A joint notice may also be placed in the local press as part of this engagement process. Adoption of the Licensing Act 2003 Statement of Licensing Policy is a function reserved for full council at this authority. The recommendations are that the draft revision Licensing Act 2003 Statement of Licensing Policy document attached as Appendix A be approved, and further that the relevant officers proceed with the commencement of a period of statutory consultation in accordance with Licensing Act 2003 legislation and regulations. The committee is able to resolve this matter. And that concludes the report, Chair.
Thank you, Catherine. Is there any points of clarification from members? Sue, you've got your hand up. I don't know. Who has? No? Peter Beer?
Thank you. Yes, I put a little question mark against fees, and I gather they're dictated by central government, the fees. But I think I'm a bit out of touch with some of these. Is there any way we can have an update of what these fees are? Because I'm assuming there's certain fees for scrap iron establishments, isn't there? And there's another different fee for licensed fashion shops and gaming places and things like that. Is there any way we can have this simplified and sent out to us? Thank you.
Yes, Councillor Beer, we can send you out the current fare tables for all of the different areas, but at the moment we're just focusing on the Licensing Act 2003. The other areas you mentioned fall under different legislation.
But you said that this reviews the fees, so I'm assuming that if we agree to this, we agree to having these fees increase because they don't go down, and that will come back to us, I assume, in due course. But I'd like to know what they are before we get to that stage.
This is just to review the Licensing Act 2003 policy. The fees are set, as you quite rightly said, by government, so we don't have any involvement in the setting of licensing fees.
So it wouldn't be much point us knowing that at this moment then, is that what you're really saying?
No.
It's not going to make a difference, I don't think, to the policy,
Right.
no.
Yeah. That's not actually
I'm not sure
on
I would ever agree, but I have to bow to your wisdom on that. Yep.
Any more points of clarification? Right,
Yes. Yes, I've got my hand up, I thought.
Yeah, Margaret.
Thank you. Could the officers actually confirm that the fees that we collect does indeed cover our costs, please?
Catherine, can you come back on that, or is that still another point?
I believe that the reason the fees are set statutorily is that they are set that way in order to cover the costs of all aspects of Licensing Act policy.
Just for Catherine, for our members, could we send a copy of fees out to this committee?
I can send a copy out. Yeah, that would be fine.
Send it out by email to all members. Is that okay, Peter and Margaret? Will you be happy with that?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But just to clarify, the officers cannot confirm at this present moment in time that the fees do cover all our costs.
Catherine, can you?
David, would you be able to shed any light on this, please?
Okay. As far as I'm aware, Councillor Maybury, that the fees that we collect under the Licensing Act do cover our costs.
Okay, there's your answer, Margaret.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, any more points on clarification? Right, we'll move to debate. Is there any questions about the paper? I'll just say I did note that there's the hairdressers get a drinks license, and I thought, oh, that's strange. But actually now, like when they have a wedding, they might give a glass of champagne or something like that. They now have to have a license for it. Is that correct, Catherine?
That is correct. If they are planning on giving alcohol as part of the service, they're essentially paying for it, so they would need to be licensed for that. Yeah.
There you go. That's just one item I picked up. Any questions from anyone else? Peter Beer?
Yeah, just wondering, is there any oh dear, I forgot what I was going to say now. I'm sorry, it's gone. I'll come back to you.
Okay, no worries. Margaret?
Thank you. Considering my experience in this field regarding weddings, etc., I would like to point out to the committee that people who are getting married are not allowed officially to be seen to be, what shall I say, under the influence of alcohol. Otherwise, a registrar or someone from the clergy can deny the wedding.
Okay, thank you for that. Most interesting. Right, any more for the debate?
Yep.
Peter's remembered his question. Peter?
Well, I nearly forgot it again. Yeah, it was to do with the times. Is there? Can you tell us? I don't know if they're all the same now, but what are the licensing regulation hours on pubs, hotels, off licenses, things like that? Because I think they can all be different, can't they? Or it depends on their opening hours. I just get confused on all of that. And as you say, if there was a hairdressers and they were doing wedding hairs and they had some champagne, they had a license. What are the times for these? Are they all different, or are there set times? I suppose is the answer. It's most likely to David. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Catherine, you've got the answer?
Yeah. Each
right.
license, each applicant chooses what they think would be best for their business in terms of licensing hours, conditions, and how they're intending to operate. So that's why they are all different. There isn't a set time structure for premises.
So what is the time then, say for a pub to open? Because most of them are all the same, I assume, aren't they? Sort of. I assume it's 11 till 11. Is that right, or is that wrong?
No, most of, as I say, it's a case by case basis. Each applicant applies for what they want. We only really bring it to committee if we incur representations as part of the application process. So if there's issues with the timings in regards to the local feeling, then it comes to you guys to make a decision. But at most of the time, it's set by the individual applicant.
So they're all different, Peter, depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, I understand that now. But when somebody sort of member of the public talks to you about it, or has got a complaint or not, they'll say, well, it was open at this time and open to that time. Well, I've no idea whether that's right or wrong, whether they've gone over their time limit or not.
Well, then you can contact the licensing officer, Peter.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't help on that spur of the moment, does it?
The licenses are all accessible via our website. We do have them all on our licensing system, but we are always willing to answer any queries that anybody has.
So, Peter, you can steer them to the website.
Right, thank you. That's brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think Catherine, Margaret's waiting for the question. Margaret?
Yes, thank you. I've got two queries, really, on the Appendix A. At 14.2.1, it speaks of firearms and weapons. Does this need any clarification, or is that just general? I'll give them to you all, and then perhaps you can answer together. 14.2.6F, you've got and or. Should there be an oblique between those? It's just a matter of my brain and grammar, etc. 14.3.3 L, it says maintenance and repair, and I'm querying of what?
Just getting the document in front of me. Okay. So in regards to the inclusion of firearms, this was something that came about as part of the Section 182 update, which is the Home Office guidance that we closely link our policy to. Sorry, is it possible to get a reminder of the other points? I'm afraid I wasn't quick enough to write them down.
No, that's fine. 14.2.6 F, should that be and stroke or rather than and or?
Right, okay.
And then 14.3.3 L. 0.3.3 L. It says maintenance and repair. Maintenance and repair of what? Because giving a scenario, you could ask for a maintenance and repair of, because it's raining, gutters, or is this a maintenance and repair of equipment such as the pipes for beer? I don't know what you call those things. That goes from the beer kegs to the to whatever it is, the lever on the bar. What is that for, please?
Okie dokie. I'll just have a look for you. Won't be a moment.
Okay.
Catherine, is that from the section 182? Did we take that? I can't remember.
It may be. I'm just getting the policy up. The one I have in front of me isn't this.
One that says.
Just to help you, if I may, Mr. Chairman, is this maintenance and repair for health and safety reasons? Is this maintenance and repair for food safety, because that drink comes under food? That's what I'm querying.
Sorry, the computer system's very slow today.
I can understand that. My mobile phone is completely gone off. Obviously didn't like the thunder and lightning earlier.
Did you say 14.3?
0.3, yes, 14.3 and then 0.3, and then it's L. L for Laura, L for Lima.
Right.
I haven't got the document in front of me, so.
I don't have that on my document. That's why I was a bit confused.
Margaret, do you think could the officers look this up and give you the information at a later date? Would that be satisfactory for you?
It would, but it really does need clarification before it goes out for consultation, because otherwise I feel that consultees will be querying this as well. What is this maintenance and repair of?
David, can you shed any light on that one? Because we did all go through this statement and it obviously hasn't been picked up by any of us. So you may.
Chair, can we come back to this? Can I have a look at the section 182 guidance and we come back to this point?
Yeah.
Just to move it along a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll come back to this in a minute, Margaret. Okay.
Okay. Right, thank you.
Is there any? Oh, Peter B has got a question. Peter.
Oh no, I haven't. No. Sorry, I haven't put my hand down. That's it.
Right. Anyone else got any questions? Right. So we can. I want to propose one a seconder, but do we want the answer for Margaret first, David?
So, Chair, I'm just getting to the relevant part. I found it's 2.11 of this section 182 guidance that speaks of maintenance and repair. I'm just having a quick read.
Yeah, well, let's do that and we'll have a breather for a second.
Okay, Chair, it'll be very quick then. It's everything. It's maintenance and repair of equipment, fixtures on the premises, safety and satisfactory nature of all of them. So it's certificates of everything. So it's everything, not just one single item. So it's maintenance and repair of the whole premises.
Okay. Are you happy with that, Margaret?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Can I have a proposal?
Actually, quite helpful.
Can I have a proposer, please?
Yes, I'll propose it.
Peter be a proposer, a seconder?
Yes.
Margaret Mabry, seconder. Right, any more debate? No, right, I'll ask Karen to go on with the vote, please. Hello? Is Karen there?
Sorry, I was on mute and I was trying to find the right place all at the same time. Sorry.
Yeah, we've got a proposer and we've got a seconder.
Okay, so the recommendation is that the draft revision Licensing Act 2003 Statement of Licensing Policy document attached as Appendix A be approved. Further, that the relevant officers proceed with the commencement of a period of statutory consultation in accordance with the Licensing Act 2003 legislation and regulations. I'll now take the roll call vote. Members,
sorry,
if you...
can I? Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I do apologise, Karen.
Yeah.
How long will it be out for consultation, and when would the final end date stop be? When it takes effect?
Catherine?
We're sending it out for consultation on the 20th of August, and we will be finishing the consultation on the 16th of September, and we're hoping to bring it back to this committee after that consultation period for you to see the post-consultation report and appendices.
Thank you. Are you satisfied, Peter? Okay, yes, all right, Karen, can we go ahead then? Karen.
Thank you, Chair. Members, please can you reply with for, against or abstain? Councillor Suez?
For.
Councillor Peter Beer?
For.
Councillor Sian Dawson?
For.
Councillor Jane Gould?
For.
Councillor Margaret Mabry?
For.
Councillor Mark Newman?
For.
Thank you, Chair. That's unanimous. That's carried.
Okay, right. Well, I thank you all for attending this meeting. And that's the end. Thank you very much.